Black Friday sales plague America in one of the most wonderful ways. You can get 50, 90, or even 100% off on some of America's finest goods. I got 40% off on an engine from Pick and Pull. That engine is a 2JZ from an IS300 that's going to go in my beloved 1977 Toyota Celica. But I don't have time to pull it myself during the Black Friday sale, so I sent almost $500 to a total stranger online who's gonna bring it to me tomorrow morning and put it right down in my driveway. Here's hoping I didn't get scammed. All right, so I just got a text picture of the engine here, and the dude says that he's on his way. So a little baby engine that looks like that, or maybe it'll be an actual real 2JZ. So now let me break down a few things here. So I said in a previous video that we were not going to use a 2JZ. I was not lying. There's an engine called a 2GR. It exists in the Toyota Camry TRD. It exists in the GS350, the IS350, in rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, the Toyota Sienna, the RAV4, and those are all front-wheel drive layout, where the GS350 and the IS, all the Lexus cars, are rear-wheel drive layout. They don't have any manual transmissions for those. It makes it difficult to connect a transmission to this engine because there's not really a transmission that's a direct bolt-up. Unless you go to the IS250 6-speed manual, that transmission's only rated for 285 foot-pounds of torque though, which creates a problem in that I plan on making a lot more than that. I was gonna do a 2GR turbo. They're a really cool engine. They sound really cool. A lot of people with MR2s are using them. Unfortunately, there's just not an easy way to make it rear-wheel drive, and without making this entire car some weird engineering project to make some special transmission work, we just have to go with the old tried and true. And it's also just an absolutely wonderful thing because then we'll have a full Supra in Celica clothing. We're gonna wait. This guy's gonna show up, probably, with a Supra motor that doesn't have a hole in it. Ah, 2JZ.
Now, the internet will have you believe that a 2JZ weighs 650 pounds, and while that might be true for a GTE with its turbos and everything, this engine definitely felt heavy, but not 650 pounds. It took me and 3 other guys, and we moved it into the backyard pretty successfully.
JZ's heavy, but the internet says 650. I don't know where that came from. That's not 650. Every bit of 450, but...
In 1972, the Celica was absolutely dominating in Japanese racing, placing high on the charts and beating out many cars that outclassed it. In 1973, Toyota built the new LB Turbo, which we now know as the Celica liftback. It featured revised suspension and a more aerodynamic chassis. The 1973 car was immensely successful thanks to its heavily modified suspension, 14-inch wide wheels, a custom one-off wide body, and a built 18RG engine with a turbo making 560 bhp. So how does my lowly American domesticated touring car hang with that? How does it live up to Toyota's legacy and, more importantly, my own? There are many engine swaps out there, and many cars making power well over stock. I thought about many engines for my precious Celica, including an LS, Coyote, turbo beams, and of course that 2GR V6 from a Lexus GS350. It's no secret I like to be the guy who did an interesting thing.
We're about to make history here,
but at the end of the day, this car needs to be reliable and make serious power. After all, there are green Teslas, fire-breathing Hellcats, and inner-chilled Coyotes running around almost everywhere you go nowadays. And I need to be able to show these new kids on the block Even when I was blowing bubbles into a juice box, the heritage of my even then old car was solidified in time and eternity as Toyota's heavenly force of Nippon steel. The 2JZ is known as Toyota's best production engine, and it is indeed a force to be reckoned with. In fact, even this oily pile of scrap metal is capable of the 560 bhp the LB Turbo was with very little modification. But I plan to go even further. This engine will be built and capable of godly power, right in line with its heavenly title, the Toyota Celica.